Welcome back, and it's like that to Survival Sam. Another episode. God damn it, we finna get into King Von Daddy. I ain't never really got too deep into that nigga's story. I just know he got killed by some motherfuckers. So he supposed to be a black disciple and shit, just like King Von. But he supposed to be from Adder Park. We finna see what's up with that nigga. I heard he had a little, lot of shit going on or whatever. However that shit was going. But we about to find out this nigga's story. Shit, what's up?
Have you seen these three men? Chicago police just released new surveillance video, hoping to find the gunman who shot and killed a 12-year-old first.
We all know the streets of Chicago can be a mean place and not somewhere you would want to be caught off guard. Wrong place at the wrong time. Well, this one is exactly that. The story of King Von's dad, Silk from Adder Park. Walter E. Bennett, also known as Silk, was born on October 28, 1974, and was later killed during a drug deal gone wrong on July 31, 2005, which would only make King Von 11 years old. Silk, just like Von, was well respected in the streets, and a big-time drug dealer in his area, always lining his pockets when there was money to be made. Silk was part of the Black Disciples set in Chicago. Some people have tried to claim he was actually a GD, known as the Gangster Disciples, but the people closest to Silk heavily implied he was BD above anything else.
Okay, for this nigga who don't know, BDs and GDs was together at a point in time, so it was BGDN. For everybody who don't know about Chicago gangs or anything about Chicago gangs, it was BGDN, Black Gangster Disciple Nation, nigga. And then it broke apart. Anyway, another thing is too, this nigga look just like this nigga. He spit that nigga out.
Man, I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna look into the video. I really feel like I'm be surprised if his dad low-key reincarnated into his son, because they low-key kind of went out the same way. There was a drug deal went wrong. Guess what? He was in the club. There was an argument and stuff that went wrong. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'ma just say, you want your son to go out like a working man, or you want the nigga to die in his early 20s?
I want to go into. I want to see if they was close. I want to know.
He ain't had no room to get close with him. He died at 11. I mean, he died when he was 11.
I know, but still, people still at 11 years old, his daddy still probably had a little impact on him.
Yeah, he had an impact, but he just ain't he wasn't like, couldn't have no real bond with him. He ain't had no time with him for real.
And represented his neighborhood, Adder Park. Being a big-time drug dealer in Chicago, money wasn't ever a problem to Silk. And for that reason, you can assume there was a lot of jealousy among his enemies and possibly even his peers. The people closest to Silk would talk about how he was crazy big on respect and loyalty. And for that same reason, he kept a small circle of friends and family he could trust. This is Chicago, and you never know when somebody's gonna crank open that back door. Just like his son, Silk was known to not take kindly to disrespect, and for that reason, he became feared, but also highly respected. Clearly, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. Looking at Von and how he would carry himself, respond to disrespect.
Saying who killed who and all that ain't true. You'll be in jail. So y'all can't believe that. And they be giving all the lame niggas all the bodies and shit. Like, Wooski ain't like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there like that. He ain't killed nobody. And if he did, it was a little boy from somewhere else, and he bogus for doing that. You see what I'm saying?
But also how he would look out for the people closest to him. Silk wasn't always around in Von's early life, but
First of all, you taking a life, bro. Period. Point blank. It's really not no right or wrong with that. You could be taking somebody's child same way he took somebody's child, either or. So y'all kind of on the same boat.
I find it kind of crazy. Okay, this is what I wanted to get into. I wanted to see if they was close or not, to see if he had an impact. So he just said that they weren't close in his early age. I find it kind of funny how some people reincarnate to people or be just like people that they never met or people they don't really fuck with.
It's a thing called kinetic energy, and then not even just that. When you give birth to these kids, you got to remember and realize they just the next version of you. So when you talk down on your kids, when you talking on your parents, you talking the old version, and you talking down on the new version of yourself. So you can't always. I had to learn that myself. You can't get it twisted like that, because you down in yourself at the end of the day. And if you don't correct them ways when you seeing them, or if motherfuckers don't tell you about the negative parts of your personality or your father's personality, you can carry those around for the rest of your life because motherfuckers thinking shit cute.
not because he didn't want to be around. This is somebody who had grown up in the streets and always been around that life. Silk had a family to provide for, which by what his closest circle said about him, he would do by selling drugs and busting plays. Looking at King Von's adult life, we can assume he didn't harbor any hate or animosity due to his father's absence, since Von would frequently post about his dad on social media, and also mention him in a song where he says, "Rest in peace to Silk from Adder Park, that was the older me."
Rest in peace to Silk from Adder Park, that was the older me.
Just looking at photos of Silk from his time when he was still alive, you can see how him and Von are spitting images of each other, not only by looks, but also their traits and how they both always kept their heads on a swivel. Silk was clearly hungry for success and doing everything that he could to make a better life for him and his family. But it's a well-known fact of life that the drug game is bound to catch up with you sooner than later, which would also ring true for Silk. Silk would be in and out of jail, which would only contribute to his absence in his kids' lives and not being there to watch them grow up. Silk, just like Von, was used used to jail. Jail wasn't nothing to him except a free roof to live under, and finally seeing his locked up homeboys again.
Boy, if for all you little niggas out here watching this dumbass shit, I hope you're not looking at jail like that, cause they knocking niggas out and raping niggas up in there.
Recess from the world. Like, come on, man.
You on punishment when you go up in
He
there.
said he was happy for him to. I love Vaughn, don't get me wrong. He's talking about something. He was happy to see his homies and stuff. If you going back to jail to see your homies and shit, like, nah.
Man, fuck them niggas.
Man, like Nipsey said, if you look around your circle, if you look around your circle and you don't get motivated, you in the cage.
Man, if you look around your circle and you don't see no progression, you in a fucking cage. If I told niggas one time because they got mad at me because I stopped hanging with a lot of niggas. You can't get mad at me for leveling up, or you can't get mad at me for doing other different shit because and you not doing it because of the simple fact you had the same opportunity I had. You got the same 24 hours in your day. You chose to stay where you chose to stay at. If I chose to leave, like Tupac said, bitch, you either gonna leave or you gonna stay where you at. And then shit, if apparently you like where the fuck you at if you stand there. But man, jail ain't no fucking reunion. It ain't no fucking high school reunion, nigga. Stay the fuck out of jail, nigga. That shit is not cute. And it ain't no fucking free meal, nigga. Another thing is too, he don't even know this nigga daddy to be speaking on like saying some shit like that to say he keep his head on the swivel and all that. First of all, his daddy hustling. Vaughn ain't out there hustling. He out here just dropping bodies. That nigga wasn't getting no money on the street, G. Let's be real.
Even in jail, Silk was highly respected. This is because it didn't matter who it was or what it was about. He would stand his ground regardless the circumstance and run the fade with whoever for whatever reason if he felt challenged or disrespected. It's been said Silk had a very stringent relationship with King Von's mom, Tanisha, due to him being so absent. The circumstances around the relationship between the two is not fully known, and it likely never will be. One can only make assumptions about their relationship, and if there was any unfaithfulness or arguments about money, jail, and all of the other street activities he was involved in around that time. But maybe there was more to Silk's absence than prioritizing the streets, making money, and gangbanging. It's possible that he knew his way of living could bring trouble and unwanted attention to his family and kids, and for that reason, he kept his distance at certain times. Which brings us to the most controversial part of his life, his death. The fact that Silk died in a drug deal gone bad is something everyone can agree on, but
I want to pause it right quick, but for one, nigga, I'm gonna say this. This is what happened when you either die or you're not there for your child. You never know what the fuck somebody telling him or her about you as far as your personality, your traits, and your ways. And these are things that people are gonna try to follow when they try to be like you and follow in your footsteps. So you never know what the fuck they was probably telling him about his daddy as far as like just saying like shit like this nigga saying, but they're not really giving a clear-cut image of this man for real. Just telling him all of this shit that like, oh, he always stood his ground. He was always knocking niggas out. He was always popping niggas. He was always ready. Like, you're not really getting the detailed man for real. Like, you're not really getting this shit from the horse's mouth. You're not really getting the mindset for real. You're just getting a bunch of like thoughts from other people's perspectives. That's the most challenging part probably gonna be about like just I feel growing up when you don't got your parent at that parent, then you're trying to imitate or just figure out what it is they would have been for you if you would have been with them, around them.
That's what you're saying. So when kids ask about an absent parent, we ask for that parent to paint a picture, paint an image for us of what that parent is or what they could have been like because they experienced them and we didn't get to do that. So when a kid asks you that, you saying stuff like that, they like, dang, that's you giving them like fuel for them to either to be like that or to not be like that. It all depends on the energy and how you giving them a story. So you just kind of got to pay attention to characteristics and the stuff that you putting out to the child because they look, like I said, they looking for a picture, they looking for an image.
that he died in has been a conflict of interest for many. One day, almost like any other day in Chicago for Silk, he was gonna go through with a drug deal. Some people have speculated and said this drug deal would be done through a friend of Silk that was linked to a different set, while others say this person had no closely related ties to him at all. Silk had planned to meet this other individual at the rink in Chicago, and supposedly, this is where Silk was shot and killed in the alleyway you are seeing on your screen. Now, for a while, it was said that Silk was shot in the head by a sniper rifle from the roof, or a nearby window, which sounds crazy. But around the time of Silk's death, it wasn't that uncommon to hear about stories from the projects where the police were scared to enter certain areas and neighborhood projects due to them having gunmen in the windows and on the roof. But a reliable BD source, and somebody who knew Silk personally, put this to bed by saying Silk wasn't killed by no goddamn sniper rifle. He said that Silk had gotten down on somebody over some work or bricks that he hadn't paid Silk back for, and the day of the drug deal, the person who Silk had smacked up caught him off guard by the back alley of the rink in Chicago and essentially killed him right there on the spot with what most likely would be a handgun and not anything anything even close to a full-fledged sniper rifle. But either way, Silk died instantly on scene. Now, whether somebody who knew Silk was going to the rink that day to do this drug deal had given his location up, or if it was at complete random, we may never know. However, judging by how sharp and adaptive Silk was to the street life, it's hard to believe there wasn't any foul play involved for him to be caught off guard in a way like this and lit up. Unfortunately, this is just another one of those stories where somebody real respected ends up dead due to jealousy, hate, and envy. To conclude Silk's life, he was super respected in his neighborhood and known.
I ain't even trying to hear that super respected shit, man. He dead, bro. What do that mean? Not to say it like that, but RIP to him. But like, what do that mean? What do the respect mean in his hood? Like, what is they getting him? His son is also gone, so what do they get him? Like, these things. What did he really pass him along? Like, I hate when white people kind of be putting this shit out there. But what I'm finna say right quick is this. Ain't no fucking sniper. Ain't no police finna get on no fucking roof and try to kill no nigga, man, out here, man. This ain't the fucking 60s and 70s, nigga. They used to do some shit like that, but they ain't finna do no shit like that at this fucking time, nigga. This 05. Ain't nobody looking for no low-class ass drug dealer. Not to say it like that, but he ain't no fucking Big Meech or nothing like that, nigga. Fuck is they finna go hunt this nigga for? You know it was a nigga that killed this man. Fuck, nothing is 3. God damn it. You done found this nigga in the back of the alleyway on the side of by the skating rink, nigga. I done been to that skating rink, nigga.
This is shocking because I grew up over there. We literally stayed at the rink.
We used to go when I was a kid, but I'm saying it's some bullshit. This is what I be talking about. He got killed where kids is playing at. You feel me? But I say this fucking much. Shit, they didn't shoot him where the fucking kids was at, god damn it. Cause in California, they shooting motherfuckers at the park, at the roller rink, and the skating rink. They doing all this dumb shit.
Chicago trying to be like that though now.
Now, cause all the young motherfuckers tweaking. But I ain't even finna tweak. I'm really finna get into this video. I'm really gonna say like, shit. When it comes to Chicago, that's just how I always been though. Like, it always been crazy out here. But shit, 9 times out of 10, I would believe this nigga got backdoored because at the end of the day, he got hit from behind. So a motherfucker had to know he was there, had to know when he was gonna be there. Cause you not finna pop up at no damn skating rink.
This kind of remind me of the Carlito story.
Oh yeah, she finally seen Carlito's way out.
With the lawyer stole $1 million, you know, and killed them all. Thought he could just get rid of him by killing him because he didn't want to pay the money back. Okay, same thing with this. The dude owed him some money. He figured shit, fuck it, I ain't finna pay his ass back. I'm finna just knock his ass out.
This is why you pop a motherfucker after you beat their ass. Like, subscribe, comment, goddammit. We out. Peace.
Hey, gotta know your purpose. Understand what worth is. These snakes is lurking, observing, trying to close your curtains. These hoes be perfect.